Welcome to Boom's Room, the podcast where the mic is always on. We talk about radio, advertising, voiceover talent, marketing, and topics you wouldn't expect. Sponsored by SameDaySpots.net. Here's your host, Kurt Boomer Shank.
Welcome to the next episode of Boom's Room, where the mic is always on. Today we sort of have I would call it a Mount Rushmore, at least a granite version of Rochester radio.
Paper mache.
Wow. We have Michael Bonady, Dave Kane, and Terry Clifford / Mandalero.
What I do not want to see is my face in a giant rock.
Yeah.
I never wanted to see it on a bench, and I had to look at it, and I don't want to see it on a rock.
No, we'll make sure that doesn't happen, okay? Good. And I'm, of course, your host, Boomer, and we've all worked together, these three wonderful people at one point, and they're all have been retired for different amounts of time. So I wanted to bring them together and talk about life after radio, specifically in the Rochester market. Because I know somewhere in Thailand, somebody's watching the show just so they can hack my account. So we'll just start clockwise. We'll start with Dave Kane.
Good morning.
Dave.
Good day. I don't know when this airs, so good day, good morning, good afternoon. Hi.
It airs 24 hours a day as a podcast.
We'll keep it at good day.
So, Dave Kane, for WCMF, how many years were you there, Dave?
40 and change.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a good gig, and I realized it, and I said, well, that's that. I'll just stay here.
So, what year did you start?
I started in February of 1981, and then I retired in April of 2021.
Okay. There we go. Let's move on to Terry now. You were where were you before WBEE?
I started out in Geneva at WGVA.
Okay.
Went to PXY for a very short period of time. I was only allowed on the AM. It was in the days when the AM and the FM had to play the exact same thing at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Always wanted to get on that FM. And then I got hired at Q92 to do overnights. Mm-hmm. And I just stayed there. I briefly went over to KLX for a while, but the majority of my career has been at 92.5.
Right.
I also worked at Magic 92 before when it became Q92. That's when I scooted.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
We passed each other in the hall.
Actually, I scooted when it became kick-ass rock and roll.
Oh,
that's when I walked in.
It was 92 MJQ, and it was just, happenstance that the midday position came open on CMF, and that was that.
Yeah. I don't remember you at MJQ.
I did nights. Well, first I was a full-time part-timer. I was doing overnights for the first 5 months that I worked there. I gave up a full-time job in Geneva to come back and be available for weekends and fill-in work.
Right.
So the first 5 months was overnights every night, $3.25 an hour. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm telling you. And then after that, my buddy Charlie left, and I took over. It was either 6 to 10 p.m. or 7 to midnight, depending on the staffing. And that was 13 months. And then to CMF.
Okay. All right. Mike O'Brien.
Yes, sir.
So Michael Bonady, formerly on air as Mike O'Brien.
I've had that name forever. It's been the stage name forever since they made me change it.
Mm.
Yeah, when did that happen?
Well, originally I was told I couldn't use my real name when I first started in radio on WSAY.
Dumbest thing.
And they gave me the name Jerry Jack. So I was Jerry Jack.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I know it.
Along with Tommy Thomas and Mike Melody.
Yes.
Tommy Nast. I worked with Tommy.
Tommy.
Yeah. And so I had Jerry Jack for a year. He would not let me use my real name or even a stage name. And then when I went to WBBF radio, that's when they said, you got to come up with a name. And so Mike O'Brien was what I chose. I heard a guy in Chicago radio with the last name O'Brien, and I thought, that sounds great.
Wow.
And I'm the furthest thing from Irish that you could
perfect,
ever imagine.
Perfect name for an Italian guy.
Yes.
When I was first hired at WBEE, the program director said to me, The only jingle we have left over is Kelly McKay. So we're going to call you Kelly McKay. And I
we
said,
can reuse it.
No, you're not. Because I'll
$100.
never remember that's my name.
Hey,
and so
Terry,
I'm
how'd you get your job? Oh, they had a jingle for me.
Isn't that a radio story, though?
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'll never remember that's my name.
That's crazy.
There was always a jock in every market whose name was like Saint something, Saint James.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
And in Rochester on Magic 92 was Doug St. James was the morning guy.
Remember Doug St.
Doug
James.
and Jennifer on MJQ before Tony Infantino took over.
Right.
And coincidentally, none of the DJs were saints ever.
No.
Right.
Absolutely
They were
not.
not saints in any way.
BBF was right down the hall from WMJQ.
Exactly, yeah.
And I used to go down there and yap with Paul Barsky and Jim Snowden. And,
I worked with all those guys. 8th floor Midtown
That's
Tower.
it. 829 Midtown Tower.
That's all
Oh, my
gone.
gosh.
I got the name Boomer from Mike Rosinko.
Oh, my gosh.
So I was never on the air until I was at WMAX in the 90s.
Max.
The Max.
106.7.
And if you ever toured the studios, there wasn't much. It was an old garage. And they converted it into these studios. And so the main studio was facing the front door, and right across the hall was the production room. And I was always a production guy, creative services.
Sure.
So I always mixed at the highest level of sound. I never used headphones. I just cranked up the speakers. And one morning, Mike Rosinko just walks in, and he goes, "God damn it! Stop booming into the other studio!" Like, sorry, Stinko. Sorry, man. So a week later, like, hey, we need somebody to do middays. And Mike's like, I'm going to call you Boomer
Wow.
for your on-air name. It's obviously it has stuck like a booger on my nose. So,
Hey, there's worse things to be called, believe you me. Boomer's okay.
don't you know? I know that. All right, so we've sort of covered your background in radio. Let me ask you this, because it happens to a lot of people who've left radio, whether they wanted to or not. What do you miss most?
I miss shenanigans. I miss seeing Mr. Middays every morning, hearing him go down the hall, saying hello to everyone else. I miss the weird ass things that would just break out in the hall for no apparent reason. And
that was
energy, life.
The whole dynamic pre-pandemic.
Yes.
You know, a full house of people, buzzing activity, or live receptionists. And as you said, shenanigans, because we're all nuts and creative and hyped up on the caffeine in the morning anyway.
That's right.
And then Tom George at one point was in the hallway, right?
My God.
What a crew.
I
what
love
a crew.
that.
And that almost set you up for your show if you were about to go live on the air.
Yeah.
Now you were it was like the green room before you went on.
Absolutely.
You were pumped and ready to go, and you
point.
had a sense of humor, and you carried that on into your show.
Yeah, and when TG would give the traffic reports, it was interactive, with whoever was on the air, and that was live and local at its best.
My favorite days are when some bonehead would slam their truck into the St. Paul Bridge.
Still happens.
Too high.
Tom would find one of 50,000 ways to call the man or woman an idiot, and they made me laugh every single time.
Can I tell you a Tom George story?
Oh,
sure.
please do.
Please.
I met Tom when he was the biggest DJ in town on WBBF AM radio, the biggest music station in town, if you can believe that, on AM radio. But he was
My
huge.
parents listened to it.
He was my mentor. I started back in 1972. Actually, BBF was 1974. But Tom took me under his wing. He literally took me under his wing because I was also given the responsibility of doing live traffic reports up in the two-seater Cessna above Rochester every morning as the Red Baron. And I know it. They said,
It's so racist.
And we want you to do this. And I did. But Tom is the one that flew me up in the air. He had a pilot's license.
Yes, he did.
And he used to do the traffic reports while flying. So he takes me up in the air 2,500 feet above the can of worms.
Yeah.
And he says, watch this. I went, what? and he
Famous last words.
He turns the plane off. I went, Tom. Then he turns it back on. Luckily, it restarts.
Yeah.
And we continue on our way. And
Why
then
would he do
I knew this business was for me.
I did not know that he had a pilot's license. TG was, other than the program director at the time and my buddy who was doing nights at Magic 92, Tom was the first guy I met. He was doing sales at the time. And, yeah.
What a guy. God rest his soul.
I first met him at Wham. I think around 1985, and he was doing sales, and what a freaking character.
Oh, my God.
Big personality.
He jumped out of airplanes on the regular.
Of course.
He
Perfectly
loved
good ones.
to skydive. And he had loved Corvettes. So once and only once, he said, come on. He's call me Bird. I'll give you a ride. Bought a brand new one. The last one he had, the cherry red one. I was in that car with him for maybe 30 seconds, and I'm a bad driver, and I'll admit it. I just prayed. I'm like, just if you let me live, God, I will never do another bad thing in my life. And he was always trying to, come on, let's go for a ride. Let's go to lunch. I'm like, no, I will walk to Syracuse before I get in your car again. That'll never happen.
You know, in the
he was a madman.
In the first year of retirement, TG and I got together frequently. He would come over to the house in the Corvette. Hey, I brought you some microfiber cloth. Hey, I brought you this stuff for the wheels, for my car.
Sure.
And, yeah, so I miss him.
Oh,
How was
too.
the Mustang, Kano?
Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 years old this year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, never seen a snowflake on it.
Yes.
Nice.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Last time I saw it out in front of, what were we then? Entercom still. It was just gorgeous. And I think I was rolling out with mine, and we just,
Right.
we sword played with our two Mustangs. So, okay, we've covered what do you miss, or what was the highlight of your radio career? Anyone?
Ooh.
I didn't get to say what I missed, but I've been able to remedy it somehow. I missed the connection with the audience. When we all work live and local and we're on for as long as we were, you have that connection. You have that give and take. People know you. They see you out in the store at a Red Wings game, and you're part of the community. And I missed the daily interaction with regular listeners. And then, I started doing Breakfast with the Beatles on Sundays. Now do the occasional fill-in on WRUR, and I reconnect, because it's a 40-year relationship with friends is not something you just walk away from. Okay, I'm done. Nice knowing you.
Right.
I have a good handful of very close friends that started as listeners. And that goes on years and years. And so when I, put on Facebook that I'm going to be on RUR, seeing the names and the comments and then getting the phone calls, that just really fills me up. And so I've been able to reclaim some of that lost connection, which is very gratifying.
And Terry, now that you're doing stuff for CJ, it must just feel good to be back behind a mic again.
It does. I fought like hell not to take that job because I was genuinely a very happily retired person. But just everything about it just kept clanging around in my head, and I'm like, I think you're telling yourself, do this. I love doing this again. I love thinking the way a radio person thinks, observing the way I did for 40 some odd years, getting emails from people who react to certain things, stupid things that you say, and being able to answer that email. And I'm very lucky. I am very blessed, and I'm grateful that for some reason I said yes when I was trying to convince myself that I should have said no.
It's that connection.
It is.
And
it really is.
The analogy, that I've made to people, and it's definitely not on the scale of what I'm about to say, but creative people, writers, don't stop writing. Musicians don't stop making music. Singers, etc. Writing. And we, love what we do, and we're good at it. And who says we got to give it up? We don't have to. We'll do it until we don't want to anymore. And I know working in Rochester, New York for as long as I have, not something I want to give up right now.
I get that.
I'm with you.
Mike, you went to Time Warner.
I did.
And you were doing traffic there?
Well, I was doing everything at Time Warner. Yeah, I left WVOR in 1995, and then there were auditions for an entertainment reporter at this new thing on the earth called a 24-hour news channel.
Yeah, right.
And it was called Our News. Mm-hmm. And I auditioned for it. I'd never been in front of a camera before, but it worked out. And I got the job, but the entertainment reporter kind of turned into a travel reporter kind of thing. But I got to tell you, looking back at radio, that built the foundation for me to get into TV, because I used all the skills from radio to perfect my craft for 23 and a half years as the getaway guy on Channel 9.
Sure.
So and it's funny, TV didn't care about audio, but being a radio guy coming I'm like, did. Oh my God, you're really letting that go on the air? It was so secondary, the audio. And for us as people in radio, it was all about the sound and the quality of it. And so I always found that to be quite interesting. But yeah, radio gave me the foundation to get into television, and I did do traffic reports early in the morning, safely from the ground, nobody turning off an airplane. And then
how boring.
And then Mike. I would go on and travel through the rest of the day.
Sure.
And, but I think the thing that was the best, and you guys will all connect, the difference between radio and television, and I had to pinch myself every day, was that they said you work Monday through Friday, you're off holidays and weekends. I went, what? Well, our whole careers were very different from that.
The radio doesn't close. You got to have somebody there.
That's right.
And you would get a comp day for working the holidays.
Yes. Sure. But that was news to me, and I was like in heaven.
In radio, when you had 2 days off in a row, was vacation.
That was
it was vacation. It felt like vacation.
You didn't know what to do with yourself.
Right, exactly.
Well, when it was live 24/7, there were weekend shifts. You had some weekend people, but midday people, afternoon people did a weekend shift.
Yeah. Always. Yeah. Right. Always.
It's just a given. Right. And that's the other sad thing about the state of radio. All those entry-level positions that we once had, long gone.
They're gone.
Long gone.
Yeah. I think we were in radio. I know this sounds
great
weird.
wave.
It wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I agree.
I truly believe
throughout
that.
the 80s and the 90s, it was just
And
it's interesting that you say that because I'm kind of watching almost a regrowth or regeneration of that. It's WCJW. There are two kids there who I don't think they're beyond 21 years old. They're from Brockport, and they are soaking up every ounce of knowledge possible. Yeah. And to me, it's like, oh my God, it might happen again. It might happen. This would be great.
Well, I think that, for smaller markets, and again, live and local is so vital and so important. And I'm seeing what I view as some pushback. Everybody's seeing some pushback to the algorithms and the corporate and the centralized programming. It's like I saw a great analogy for it. It's like fast food. It's made to appeal to many and be served quickly. But there's no substance to it.
Correct.
Yeah. And,
oh my God, that's brilliant.
The live and local.
That works.
I would hope that it comes back in a bigger form, because in a market this size, it definitely works.
In a market this size, it's an issue. The right creative somehow is still around after 25 years, because we do work for the small markets. Anywhere from the Midwest to Northern California, but their air schedule, they're live all day from morning to afternoon drive like it used to be. And the people really depend on those stations there. And then when one of the personalities shows up at an event, they're like superstars.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal there. It's less here in Rochester, and it's just amazing how many local morning shows we still have, because you know what? Those generate revenue because people love their people that they listen to in the morning.
But that whole area of local appearances and giveaways and contests and parades, all gone. all gone. Which is why, I want to get the plug in for non-commercial radio.
Right.
We have some great stations in town, RUR and, Jazz. And it's
Rob Litton's station,
Yeah, it's non-commercial, listener-supported. And I think, I make all kinds of analogies about the money. And, hey, if you donate $25 a month, that's one less pizza a month, and it helps sustain that needed connection with local people playing music decided by and curated by the hosts.
Sure.
And non-coms can do that. Of course, without federal funding, it hurts a lot, but there's some some light at the end of that tunnel. But that's why I urge people to support local non-commercial stations.
Yeah. Right.
I got to be honest with you. This is so random, but it's the God's honest truth. I pray every night, like a real actual prayer, that iHeart and Odyssey will sell the stations and give them back to our community. Let somebody buy them. Let somebody raise their families based on what they make locally and give us our radio back. Hit the road, Jack.
The whole thing with their medium and small markets is that they reduced it to becoming just an app.
Right.
And cutting off any and all funding other than to keep the lights on.
Exactly.
That's why there are no live, with rare exception, no live local morning show. No live local shows other than
The
morning
just the
shows.
mornings.
Everybody else from out of town, pre-recorded, piped in.
Or if it's talk on Wham, or if it's sports.
It's one thing.
The Tulios of the world,
You used to have a choice of syndicated programming. Yeah, we're going to carry that and that. Well, now everything is, I guess, syndicated.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta, you work for the shareholders in commercial radio.
Well, and that's why, locally at Odyssey, it's now the sports station is now WGR Rochester.
Yep.
So that's lost its own identity that it had.
Jesus will answer my prayer soon.
Oh, for
I am
sure.
Absolutely certain of
I
it.
have faith in Terry's faith.
So tell me a little bit more about the Getaway Guy, Mike.
That was so cool, Mike.
Oh, thank you. You know what? I'm still doing it because I can't leave anything alone.
We're with you.
So I do it on social media, and I'm still traveling.
Yep.
But I'm doing it on my schedule. Don't have to get up at 4:30 in the morning anymore, because that's how I was doing the Getaway Guy on Channel 9, because I had to do the traffic reports. Traffic just never left me.
Right.
And I never ever wanted to do it in the first place. Not after the plane gets turned off. but I would get up at 4:30. I don't have to do that now. I'm doing my own photography. I'm writing it all, editing. I love the editing aspect of it, and it's the Getaway Guy on social media, Facebook and YouTube, and that keeps me busy. So, but the Getaway Guy, for 23 and a half years, 6 days, 4 hours, and 22 minutes, I was able to take people. I had the best job in the newsroom. Everybody else was doing hard news. They all wanted my job. Honestly,
do the good news.
So I made sure my lunch was tested before I ate it every day. But I had the best gig in the world. I really, really did. And I did have to lug a camera, and I did have to lug this 25-pound tripod everywhere I went. And I was my own photographer, which a lot of people don't know.
That reminds me of Seth Voorhees.
Yes, we became
very similar
VJs,
paths.
video journalists.
Yeah.
Wow.
And at first, I bucked it. I hated the idea of it because I grew up, or I started at Channel 9 with my own photographer. And then 2 years later, they said, guess what? You're shooting your own stuff. And I was furious, but it was a blessing. It was a blessing.
I mean, look at the additional skill set that you developed.
Yeah.
A whole nother area of media and communication.
That's so true. Yeah. Something that you don't like doing today, the analogy is just go with it because you don't know what's coming down the road.
Right.
And for me, that's exactly what happened. And now I couldn't get enough of editing. I love to shoot. Mm-hmm. I love to put a show together, host it, and see the finished product and then move on to the next one. So I haven't stopped. I'm still doing it.
And the day you don't want to do it, you'll know. And in all probability, it'll be when you're dead.
Right. Yeah. Well, I still may do it after that.
That's a very uplifting thought.
I'm just saying.
Thanks, Kane.
Again, it goes back to you love what you do, you'll just keep doing it.
Yeah. Because it's not work anymore.
No.
Right. I have to tell you, Mike, I don't even remember how long ago it was, but Jay Filippone and I, this is another radio guy, a friend of all of ours.
I did work for Jay. Yeah.
We were out with his then wife, Martha, and my husband, Doug. We were out at the Glen Iris Inn.
Oh, wow.
Having lunch, and we saw you pull up, and I watched you set up the tripod, and
That's awesome.
I couldn't believe it. I always thought you had a team of people with you. And we're eating lunch, and I'm like, guys, he's setting that up himself. Guys. And I wanted to get out there and talk to you, but we were in the...
Did you see the silver flask? I try to keep that hidden.
There was a reflection.
I see it now.
It's not a flask.
I'm like, that sun is picking up something in his pocket.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was so cool. It really was.
How about your pizza shop?
Oh,
wow,
my
what a
gosh.
pizza, right?
I was doing full-time radio on WVOR.
Yeah.
And as if that wasn't enough, midday show getting done at 2:30, I would zip over to my what a pizza.
South Ave.
672 South Avenue in the South Wedge.
Best stuffed pizza.
Okay,
I've
how do
ever
I?
had.
I
Unbelievable.
remember that.
After 3 years, I went, okay, so I'm not into the restaurant business. This is a bit much. And I so admire people who are in the restaurant business.
Gig.
I have a new desire to compliment them, because that's a specific thing that not everybody can do. And I was not a restaurateur, but I made a damn good pizza.
Oh,
Wow.
The best. I just couldn't wait for you.
Yeah, pepperoni. What was the one you used to like all the time? The pepperoni primo, I think.
Pepperoni primo.
Yeah.
Look at that. You remember
I
that?
know.
It was so good. Me and Annette were
Telling you
just
what.
like, can you get another wow this week? I'm like, yeah, I'll stop.
It
by
was
the-
fun. It
Yeah.
was really fun. But I don't miss the restaurant business. That's not for me. I'll just do this.
And Terry, you can plug your own pod on the show.
I love my podcast. It's just a trip down ridiculous avenue in my son's old bedroom. It's called Studio Diaries, and this is it. I grab radio people or TV people. I'll be calling
Let's
you,
do
Mike.
it. Yeah.
And we just talk. Like, I don't even give you as much indication as Boomer did. I went, he is so organized.
Yeah.
Whenever anyone asks me, should I prepare for it? I'm like, hell no.
But we're all very practiced at improvising.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
We are. Because I never practiced a day in my life.
I remember. So how that happened is I'm out for my daily walk in East Rochester, and there's Terry in front of a salon,
Visual images.
and I had my sunglasses on. She didn't. I'm going, hey Terry, and I had my earbuds in, and she's like, who the F is this guy? And then I took my sunglasses off in my head. You're like, Boomer!
I know. And beyond that, I mean, let's be honest. My hair was full of color.
Yeah, it was
I had a
hilarious. It was
cape
quite
on,
the sight.
Because
Yeah.
we sit
ridiculous.
out in front of that. She colors my hair, and we sit. My Candy, who's my stylist.
Candy.
She has a smoke.
She
We
does.
sit right across the
Candy
street.
is out in front of the salon every day.
She's not too close to the hair because they use those chemicals.
Oh, exactly. We play Wordle. and Gene Filiacci has his studio right across the street.
Gino's
and
right
so
across
whenever
the street.
he walks out, I'm like, Gino! I love East Rochester.
It's a great town.
I love ER.
We're
I
lucky
love
to
it.
live there.
And the community of people that we worked with, professionally, and it's so still close knit and tight, and for the most part available,
is,
to get together. So.
Absolutely.
I feel like I missed a whole segment after I left radio and then did the TV thing. I was like void of radio people. I didn't listen to the radio like I used to when I was in radio.
Sure.
You just digested it day in and day out.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that for the longest time because I was focused on something else. And what I missed was getting behind a microphone live in a studio and going for it.
Yeah.
And I think I lost that touch because unless you just keep doing it. So for me, it's kind of scary to go back on a live format because I'm so used to take 2, 3, 4, and 5 if need be for television. I mean, there were a few live occasions, but I got out of the live thing like we all did every day on radio.
Yeah.
But I'll bet you got right back into it, no problem, because you are such a pro.
Oh,
That's right.
Wow, thank you. Could you repeat that? Could
You are such a pro.
It's recorded.
Mike O'Brien.
Isolate that.
Yep. It's going to be a drop.
I mean, you heard his voice. That's smooth, almost
Mike
baritone voice
O'Brien.
everywhere.
Right.
I haven't heard it on my dentist's phone system. I was like,
Answer.
I'm your patient, and you got his voice on.
Two guys I can't, in the day, I could not get around their voices. It's Mike O'Brien.
Mike Whittemore.
Mike Whittemore. You knew
Mike.
right away. It's
Yeah.
like that guy was just
Or Dave
omnipresent.
Roberts.
Or Dave Roberts.
Or Dave Roberts.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. What
My-
a
He
classic.
wasn't singing a jingle.
I know. What a classic.
God.
We worked with some of the best
What was
people
the
in the world.
Tent City, right? Tent
Yeah,
City?
Tent
Oh,
City.
Tent City, and
Lyle and
collection
Dewey.
of spots I've ever heard in my
And
life.
he
Yeah.
bequeathed it to me, and that's where I won all my awards.
Oh my gosh,
I used
isn't
to
that
work
great?
with Mike Bonady to come up with the concept.
My neighbor.
Wow.
And I was winning these international awards for Tent City because Dave taught me. He was my mentor.
I miss
Everybody
Roberts.
has a mentor.
He taught me how to do production, how to really do theater of the mind.
When I
I got it.
when I was a senior at Fisher, my internship was at WVOR on the 17th floor.
Yeah, me too.
And I used to sit there. I was supposed to
Really?
be cataloging music
Yeah.
Okay.
on, the sheets, but the production room was right there.
Yep,
And
the
when Mike
eight-track.
O'Brien, or I'm sorry, when Dave Roberts was in there singing, it was a show.
Oh, yeah.
I used to sit there with my eyes were like saucers watching it, and every once in a while, my friend Gary Smith would like tap me on the shoulder and say, "You're supposed to be working," and I'm like, "How can I look
How
at this?"
can he look at this?
But you know that when we'd be on there, we'll be gesturing and
Yes, we will.
pointing and
Yes.
stuff. You can't.
That's
not-
what you do.
Yeah,
you move your
exactly.
hands and
do
your
that.
arms and stuff.
You
Yeah.
talk like you're
Splicing?
comfortable and talking to people in the room.
Splicing tape.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we literally with a razor blade and splicing tape. And that's
And a
how
grease
we did it.
pencil.
And the grease pencil, the white grease
Right.
pencil. Yeah. I would be, some days I'd have like 10 to 12 pieces of tape around my neck
Yeah,
just in case I had to reuse that
Right.
portion until everything got caught up. It's just
People
freaking
have no
ridiculous.
idea.
One of my greatest and proudest achievements was doing House of Guitars commercials without splices.
Right.
Armand would send over 70, 75 seconds
Of
a copy.
copy. Yep.
Do a little bit of editing, and it's House of Guitars, 6:45, 10 to 7, you open 10 till 9 at night, Sundays noon to 5.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
and you
Still got it.
Never
Yeah.
sped up the tape,
Wow.
never spliced.
Nice, but man.
You had to do it.
I had to do
I
it.
was so sick of I was good at it. We were all good at splicing. But when digital editing came out, this is one of my favorite stories because this show is about me. Just saying. So I said, Jack Palvino, it's like, there's this digital editor out there, and it would really help us speed up production
What
because
did
there'll
he
be no
say?
splicing.
Curious.
So he looked at it with, I can't remember the engineer's name, and he was really into it.
Don Ariano.
It was Don, and there was another guy,
Okay.
I know.
and chief engineer, and he's like, I would love to buy one of these. Sorry. And he talked Jack into it. So it gets ordered, and it was just a single track editor, which was kind of stuffed into a cabinet, and it had a glass case, and he would work over it and edit with a mouse.
Wow.
So this is one of my favorite stories is about Jack. R.I.P. I love you. Like a dad, I did.
Yep.
He comes in, and he's like, his pipe.
Pipe going.
Hey, kid. Hey, Jack. What you doing? I'm editing. Where's the tape? There's no tape. There's got to be tape. Like, no, it's ones and twos and stuff like that. It's digital, Jack. Okay, hope I got my money's worth. And he left the studio.
He probably traded it.
I think you're right.
He probably did.
Everything was
right.
trade.
Wow.
We're going to take a quick break here on Boom's Room for this message from SameDaySpots.com.
Boom's Room is brought to you by Same Day Spots. Commercials written by humans, voiced by humans. Using 25 years of copywriting experience from the right creative. So instead of a 30,000-foot AI view of copywriting, we use a non-proprietary AI database of Write Creative scripts that have proven success metrics. Then, Same Day Spots accesses a stable of a dozen voices in studio who are indeed human and real to deliver the perfect read to get results. Learn more at samedayspots.net.
Okay, today's Boom's Doom. I'm going to bitch about people and shopping carts at the supermarket.
Oh.
When they leave the goddamn cart, and not the cart you were talking about during the break, the ones you played on radio, but their damn shopping cart.
Which are as big as Buicks.
Yeah, well, the ones, especially when they have the kids, and it's got a vehicle built into the goddamn thing, and then they're nowhere near the cart.
Yeah.
They're they're looking at the lower shelf about 25 yards down the aisle, and I'm just like, I just want to take my cart and just bash their cart as hard as I can.
Oh my!
Okay, that's angry.
He's violent.
You're salty, Boomer. First of all, I got to tell you, this is not the shopper's fault. This is Danny Wegman's fault. If he didn't change where every damn thing is in that store
They keep
every
changing
week,
it.
I
Why?
hate when they do
we
a store
would be
change.
okay.
That is a challenge.
That's
However,
why my cart's in the middle of the
it's
aisle.
not because of that people abandon their carts right in the middle, or will stand in the middle talking on their phone. And oblivious to
number
everything,
two.
and then get the stink eye. Give the stink eye when you say, "Excuse me."
Do eyes really stink at a point?
When you
they
get
can.
pink eye, it's stink eye at the same time.
Okay.
So that's bitch number two of Boom's Doom is the two couples that have a freaking conversation and they don't give a shit. They're just like, they don't care about you. And they're like, all right, hey, did you see Tina across the street's got a drinking problem? Yeah. So, and it's like you glare at them and you don't care.
Oh, I don't glare. Oh no.
Oh, I
No
glare.
glaring. No.
Oh,
When
glare.
I sense glaring, I try and pull them into the conversation. Don't you agree, Karen? I have seen that so many times. And before you know it, you've made a friend.
That's a good way to go about it. Never going
Or
to happen
not.
here, but
There's some major first world problems here. I'm telling you.
yeah.
Supermarket cart.
Or when they, there are side aisles and then there's the main runway, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Yep,
So
yep.
it's like a highway. That's 490.
Okay.
And these are the exits onto or the on ramps. But people tend to come off those side aisles just clearly going right into the main, not looking. That drives me crazy.
I bring my insurance card in with me because I don't know if I'm going to get hit when I turn that corner.
Yeah, people push the cars so they drive their cars on the phone and not looking.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's so correct,
So
All right, guys, let's wrap it up. I want to thank Mike Bonady, Dave Kane, and Terry Mandalero Clifford for being here today. If they want to access what you're doing now that it's Life After Radio, how do they find you, Mike?
Well, they just go to Facebook or YouTube, search The Getaway Guy, and you'll see my stuff.
Great. Kana?
well, the jail has a general mail office. Sorry. No, I
You
still
have a collect call.
I still maintain my Kane O Facebook page because I still will appear from time to time on WRUR.
Right.
And I like to let people know. And it's a way to stay in touch with friends that I've made and maintained in the last almost half century.
It's amazing.
Out at local events with bands at Barnard, Party in the Park, I still like going out and mingling.
The occasional funeral. Yeah, that's when we
Not
catch
occasional
up.
at this
Hey,
age,
Kana,
I'm
I know,
sorry.
they're picking up in pace.
Yeah.
Terry?
Studio Diaries with Terry Clifford, Chris Kanya, Nancy Geraci. It's wherever you get your podcasts. I'm on WCJW, which is CJ Country, 10 until 2, Monday through Saturday.
Wow.
And you can pretty much hear me anywhere you go in Penfield because I'm kind of loud.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
This has been fun, Boom. This is fun.
I'm glad you guys could join me. I thought of you three right away. Actually, 3 other persons couldn't do it, so
I knew it. I swear to God, I knew it.
We're in the second group of 3.
Might as well go with them.
Here we are.
Second tier.
Well, go with them.
Go with them.
Yeah.
They're free.
I'm just happy to be off my meds and out of the house.
That's right.
So,
All right, this is Boomer for Boom's Room. We'll see you again soon. Take it away, Justine.
If you enjoyed what you heard on Boom's Room Podcast, please subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast platform. It would be much appreciated. Contact us at samedayspots.net. Until next time on Boom's Room.